Cool.
Hey, Jorunn, how's it going?
It's going awesome, Porter. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Innovis, thank you for joining us today. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties as we've been setting up for the stream here. Um, so this is pretty much just a test stream for us at the moment.
Our very first stream. Pretty cool.
Yahoo!
Woohoo!
So, Innovis, we are relying on you to let us know how we look and how we sound, aside from our faces.
Picture looks pretty good there.
Yeah, we look okay, I think. Looks good to me.
Yep.
So, all right. For those of you just joining us, this is Bar Citizen Live, and this is our very first podcast. The goal of this podcast is to highlight upcoming and past Bar Citizen events that are happening all over the world. So today we are here with Jorunn, who has been kind of running the worldwide scene for Bar Citizen, helping out individuals start up their own local Bar Citizen events, and basically being a one-man hype machine. And
All
for
about the hype.
all about the hype, yes, Bar Citizen. And I'm LT Porter, Lieutenant Porter. You may have seen me around several of the streamers' chats and on Discord and Twitter. So I'm just here to help facilitate getting out the hype. So Jordan, why don't you tell us what you have for us today?
Well, we actually just had quite a few Bar Citizens this weekend. There were three yesterday. There was one in Denver, one in Dallas Fort Worth, and one in Gothenburg, Sweden. We've got three of them going on as we speak. Right now, we've got the very first Bar Citizen in Washington, D.C., or actually, it's just outside of Washington, D.C., in Alexandria, Virginia. And Captain Richard, Commander Z-Man, um, Gritspitter, and probably about 30 people or so are having a good time. They're actually on a live Skype call with Ben, and I think somebody might be live streaming it, but I'm not sure who is right now. It's pretty exciting. They've all been wanting to have a Bar Citizen in the area for a long time, and finally got one guy took point, put it together. I helped them find a venue, and we got a Discord channel going, and everybody's been all hyped for the past few weeks, and they're getting together, and it looks like a really good time.
Yeah, it sounds great. I know all the Bar Citizen events that we've had here, and the ones that I've helped organize in the Orlando area, and the one that we just had for the statewide, they're just phenomenal. The outpouring of love and camaraderie that happens at these events is just it's mind blowing.
That was so much fun. And we like like you were saying, we went for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Hmm.
That was a
Yeah,
good day.
yeah, that was a lot
Raytheon,
of
how are
fun.
you?
Hey, thank you for joining us. As I mentioned before, so we've got some new people coming into chat. So this is Bar Citizen Live, and this is our very first podcast. And the goal of this podcast is to let everybody know what's going on with Bar Citizens around the world, past and upcoming. And we've got Joran and myself, Lieutenant Porter.
And there are a lot of Bar Citizens. So,
Oh
and we,
yeah.
we really kind of kicked it off with our big statewide event back in September of last year, and then they've been going on for a while, but it didn't really take off until I started that the Bar Citizen Organizers group and
Hmm.
Discord, and we brought people in from around the world. The guys that organized BritizenCon last year just had their second BritizenCon last week, and they had like 150 people show up, and Brian Chambers and a bunch of devs. I think they had like 30 or 40 devs attend, and they had two Bar Citizens. They had one Bar Citizen the Friday night before, and a lot of folks were hungover for BritisonCon itself. And then
Sounds
they went to another one after BritisonCon.
that sounds like a great time.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine actually getting to hang out with the devs at a Bar Citizen. That would just be incredible. I mean, the guys in Austin have been doing it for like 2 years, and LA just started. Wolf Larson, who runs INN, he took point out there in LA,
Hmm.
and he's been running them for probably about 3 months now,
Oh
and
wow.
they're getting a pretty good group. And the folks from the LA studio have joined them most of the time. Disco, Ben, a couple of the other folks from LA have been out there, and those look like a lot of fun.
They sure do. So, for those people that are new to Bar Citizen, why don't you go ahead and give them a rundown of, you know, kind of the overall feel of generally what Bar Citizen is, and for those looking to find a Bar Citizen near them, where they can go for that, and then also what it kind of the first steps to maybe starting your own local Bar Citizen meetups.
Yeah, Bar Citizen is really just kind of a generic term for any gathering of Star Citizen fans. Um, at a bar, at a restaurant, LAN parties at somebody's house, a barbecue at somebody's house. Um, a lot of people in the community don't realize that there's a lot of other citizens right there in their own towns, especially the major metropolitan areas. There's a lot of people in just about every city in the world, and we're starting to bring them together. The RSI forums have always kind of been a place where people tried to hook up, but people never check the forums very often. So somebody would plan an event, and people would check the forums a few months later and realize, like, oh crap, somebody had an event.
Right.
When's the next event? Well, sometime next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I remember when we first started setting up our events, it was very much the same way. You'd have a couple people post one week, a couple people post the next week, and then you wouldn't hear anything for months, and then, and then all of a sudden we had our statewide, and it's like, oh, okay, this is happening.
Yeah, it actually really started taking off there,
Hmm.
and that's really how I found all the people in Florida when Gray Headed Gamer tapped me to organize our statewide event. He and Twerk had been talking about it,
Right.
and he set up the Discord channel, and I went through the forums, and I literally spent 2 hours and grabbed every name that I could, about 120 people, and tagged them all in a forum post and invited them to the Discord channel. And
Hmm.
like, holy crap, a ton of people showed up and started talking about wanting to get together. Um, see, we first started talking with Fiendish about coming up with a patch design for us, and then
Hmm.
um, he was kind of busy working on bulkheads. And Mr. Voltag there in Orlando, apparently a pretty good graphics guy, he kind of with it and came out with our Florida Bar Citizen logo and patch design, which uh, graphics really help bring people together.
Hmm.
A lot of the local groups are putting their own patches together. Texas has a great patch. I actually ordered one since I'm originally from there, and they made
Hmm.
me promise that I'd actually have to show up to an Austin Bar Citizen to make it official. New Jersey is having their second Bar Citizen tonight. He had Rumples in a couple of my Discord channels, and he did his first Bar Citizen, I think about a month and a half or 2 months ago, and I think he had maybe about 8 or 10 people show up, and he had 30 people RSVP'd for tonight. So he's having a
Wow.
pretty good sized group there. But and he's in New Jersey, so he's in the middle of pretty dense
Hmm.
urban area there along that part of the country. And people are coming from New York and the surrounding areas. And same thing with Virginia, with Eastern Virginia. They're coming from, as far as like a couple of hours away to get to theirs.
Wow. It's amazing what a how much Star Citizen is bringing people together, you know.
Yeah, Raytheon's asking if we can do smaller bar citizens around the state, and that's actually what's going on in our Discord channel. We've got channels for
Hmm.
the West Central, Central, Northeast, Southeast, Southwest, and I think there was one or two bar citizens in the Tampa area, and they're actually planning another one right now.
Hmm.
So if you pop in there, I think Innovis, who's also in the chat, he's helping to kind of coordinate that sometime, maybe next month. I think they're thinking about.
Hmm.
Um, you're the Orlando guy, and you've been doing a really great job there in Orlando, having
Thank
pretty
you.
regular, pretty much every month. Um, and Southeast, we're having them about every month to 6 weeks.
Hmm.
And of course, my my situation, I only get to go to like every other one of those.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. One
But
of these
hey,
days, I
at
need to
least
get
we get
down
it
to
for the
South
nerds.
Florida to one of your events down there. Meet up with you guys for lunch for barbecue one of these days or something.
Oh, and that's one of the other cool things. Once you get to meet people and you know your local nerds and you're talking there in Discord, and some people may work fairly close together, and it's just like,
Hmm.
hey, who wants to get together
Yeah.
for lunch today, or get together for a beer after work sometime, and just real casual get-togethers to and hang out and just talk about spaceships and
Hmm.
what's going on with Star Citizen.
So, why don't you tell us about the how people can find events near them?
Uh, Sending out a quick tweet that we're here and live. Scary. Like,
Yeah.
actually have an audience. Um, yeah. So Rico from the Based Radio, he actually set up the barcitizen.sc website back in September, and we're working on a revamp of it. But that's really the best place
Hmm.
to see where bar citizens are going on, and where they're upcoming, where they've been, and you can get on there and see where people have organized it in the past with contact information. And if you click any of the events, then it'll bring it up. And if there's not one planned, but there has been one, then people can contact them and say, like, hey, when's the next one?
Hmm.
And they're all over the U.S. and Australia and Europe. Um, there's one in Abu Dhabi and a couple in Asia, and more growing. And of course, now on the Spectrum, there's Bar Citizen Chat and a new meetup forum for threads, so people can post their events in there. I really recommend just putting out everywhere you can. If you're thinking about having an event, um, get on there and put some information, some contact into the Spectrum forum thread.
Hmm.
Um, Start up a Discord channel for your local state if there's not one. There is a link to the Google Doc that has all the Discords that we know of from the Bar Citizen website. I think there should be a link there,
Good.
and people can see if there's existing Discord channels. Otherwise, set one up and take point and bring some people in and start gathering the nerds.
Yeah, and coming from experience with setting up the Orlando events and the Central Florida events, um, there's not really a whole lot to it. I mean, you just got to reach out to everybody and just say, hey, this is what's going on, and you pick a place, you pick a time, and you kind of try to work out a little bit of that schedule with people and see who can come and who can't come, and your subsequent events, you try to schedule them around some of the other people that weren't able to show up, so that you can get kind of everybody involved at some point, and just work with everybody, and it works out well.
Yeah, and if somebody's interested in starting one up, there's not really that much to it. I go all over the country, just kind of the basic setup of their first ones, and people are kind of intimidated at first. I'm thinking it's there's a lot to it, but there's not really that much. And just have a place where people can come together and start talking about it,
Yep.
uh, and finding a decent venue. Um, and I help people all the time doing that because for most of the past 20 years, I spent traveling around finding good restaurants. So I'm pretty good at helping folks do that. Welcome new folks to our first live podcast talking about Bar Citizen. Just kind of talking about where bar citizens have been, upcoming, how to start your own bar citizen, um, helping to bring the Star Citizen community together out in the real world. So we have some more upcoming bar citizens. Well, actually, so we've got 3 today. There's in Austin, there's the DreamHack. So Tyler Whitkin and Falaste are out there with a bunch of locals. Rue Smash is down. She's one of the organizers from Portland. She's actually in Austin for the DreamHack conference. St. Louis Bar Citizen is going on right now. They've been going for quite a while. Their second Bar Citizen, May 6th in Sacramento, California. Boston are both on May 6th. Anchorage, Alaska is going to be June 10th. Got that out of order. The Twin Cities, Minnesota, I think. They're having their very first Bar Citizen on May 13th. Atlanta's having one on May 13th. Toronto's having one on May 20th. Berlin is having one on May 20th. New York City, they've been having real regular ones since September. They're having another one on May 28th. Friday Harbor, Washington. So it's apparently on one of the little islands out there in Puget Sound.
Oh, wow.
Somebody's wanting to see if there's any other nerds out there. That's on June 24th. And Inverness, Scotland is having their first Bar Citizen on July 7th.
So it sounds like there's a lot going on.
There are. I mean these are just the ones on the map for the next couple of months, and like every week, new ones get posted as people come together and hear about other ones and get excited and they want to have their own. And there's quite a few groups working on setting up theirs. Actually, or is it Michigan? We had those 4 folks that were down for the Star Wars celebration that came out to visit our Bar Citizen.
Oh, right.
And they're hooked up with a group in Michigan, so they just set up a Discord channel out there just a few weeks ago, and they're starting to organize their first meetups.
Very cool. Very cool. So I don't really have anything going on as far as what I would like to talk about in this first episode. We're just kind of chatting a little bit about what's going on with Bar Citizen, and is there anything else you would like to talk about that's maybe not Bar Citizen related, like maybe the new Banu ship or the 3.0 schedule? I know kind of everybody beats those to death, but we all have our opinions. And
hey, that's what we do. We sit around, we drink beer, and we talk about Star Citizen. That's Bar Citizen, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that all that new Banu hype is just amazing. I picked up a CCU for a Defender, and I think after reading the Q&A for that, I'm definitely going to get one. I'll probably trade in my Saber for that because it looks like it's going to be a really nice 1 or 2 person fighter. That you can actually get out and walk around on the inside. It's small, but there's a little interior space on it, which is pretty cool, and really super strong shields, very defensive, very fast, good weapons. It kind of suits my playstyle, even though I'm not really big on combat. But for right now, that's the main thing to do.
Very cool. So anybody in chat, do you have any questions about Bar Citizen in general? Things that we've done in the past as far as scheduling, what other people are doing for scheduling.
Here, I'm going to post in chat a link to a Flickr album with Bar Citizen pictures.
Oh, great.
If you want to scroll through some of the pictures. As soon as we can have more people in game, Innovis, he's asking if when we're going to have Bar Citizens in game. I think there's going to be a lot of Bar Citizens in game. That's probably going to be my main thing. I'm going to go from port to port, my 890 jump, and just kind of have a traveling Bar Citizen.
That might be very interesting.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I was in Concierge chat last week, and a couple of guys were talking about they play guitar, and they were thinking about like having a concert streaming over voice over IP into the game, like having a Bar Citizen at some bar in some city
Hmm.
in Star Citizen and playing guitar live to the crowd, which I thought was really cool because that kind of thing happens in Second Life quite a bit. I was like,
Hmm.
hey, yeah, that is totally uh, a whole new thing people haven't even really thought about it.
Yeah, and that goes to the whole point of the emergent gameplay that you hear people talking about quite often when it comes to Star Citizen, and being that it is kind of a sandbox universe game. Just all these things that people will be able to do that a lot of games you wouldn't necessarily have that kind of freedom.
Yeah. Hey, Mocker, how are you doing? Glad you could join us. Our very first Bar Citizen podcast. We're testing things out, talking about Bar Citizen and Star Citizen.
Yeah, so if you guys have any input as to the uh, video footage, the audio, just let us know. We're just getting everything set up. So we're hoping to do more of these in the future. We're not quite sure what the schedule is going to be for those yet. We're thinking maybe monthly, maybe eventually bi-weekly, but we'll see what happens as things progress.
Those last pictures that you're showing there are from the Bar Citizen right now in Alexandria, Virginia.
Oh wow. Okay. So this is happening today.
That's happening. I mean, those pictures are literally within the past hour, and that last one is from Austin, from about 2 hours ago.
This bottom one here.
Yep, that one there. I don't know if you can see Tyler in that last one. Um, yeah, that one you're looking at there is
Is that
with
is
all the
that
people.
Moonshiners right there?
I can't quite tell. I'm not sure if Moonshiners is at Austin. Yeah, Raytheon. There's actually two areas for Bar Citizen on Spectrum. There is the Bar Citizen chat, and then there's also the new meetup forum in Spectrum, where people are posting events.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up a browser window right now so that I can show that. I didn't have that one prepped.
I should have pulled that one up myself.
Let's see, community spectrum.
Yeah, they did that LAN party in Austin. First LAN party that I've seen. A lot of folks brought their computers over to somebody's house and had a pretty good Bar Citizen there playing Star Citizen. DreamHack is it's a computer gaming conference, I guess, in Austin going on right now, and because the Austin studios there, a bunch of people were attending that and having a Bar Citizen afterwards. You
Yeah, there
should.
we go. There we go. It's the Bar Citizen chat lobby on Spectrum.
Mhm. So there's a chat lobby and a meetups forum as well. your Twitter. Mocker was asking for your new Twitter.
Oh yeah, I will put that in chat.
Oh, nice character background there.
Yep, that's my baby.
Yep, Bar Citizen has a Twitter, I have a Twitter, and you have a Twitter.
Yahoo!
Everybody's twittering. So, yeah, Twitter's a good place to get the word out about Bar Citizen, Spectrum, barcitizen.sc.
And I don't remember the Bar Citizen one off the top of my head for Twitter.
I've got that one.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Dixie Boy.
Hey, Dixie Boy, welcome. And there's the Bar Citizen Twitter, which I need to get better at following up on. This is our first live Bar Citizen broadcast, Dixie Boy. So we're just kind of talking about Bar Citizens, past, present, future, and how to find them, how to set them up. We're showing some pictures. There's 3 Bar Citizens going on right now, and lots more upcoming. So if you got any questions about Bar Citizen, just let us know.
So one of the other things that Jorunn and I have been talking about offline a little bit as well is maybe doing some sort of community segment within this podcast moving forward, where we can bring in other individuals that are in the Star Citizen community that are doing creative things, that are also doing social things with the community. So other Bar Citizen event organizers to kind of talk about what they're doing. As well as, like I said, creatives, people that are doing, any sort of creative content for Star Citizen, be it streamers, sci-fi short story writers, some of the musicians. We've got quite a few musicians in the Star Citizen community, so maybe have some of them on stream sometime.
We do. Actually, there was a Citizens of the Stars a few weeks ago, Mocker, where they actually featured me and Bar Citizen, which was pretty shocking. But very cool. Really just trying to get the word out to as many people as we can about how great it is to get together in real life and talk about Bar Citizen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that there'll definitely be continued backing and support by CIG, and even in Chris Roberts' newsletter on Friday, that he started his his newsletter, which was, I know, is a really good one. I enjoy those. Talking about Citizen and Bar Citizen and how important it is to the project, and how the devs really get a lot of energy from the community, because it's really the most unusually synergistic game development ever, that
Right.
we get to participate in this crazy dream that all us old nerds have of living in space. And they're building it. They're letting us test it as they build it, and we all get to talk about it. And
Oh yeah, Mocker. To that point, yeah, that's kind of what we have envisioned as well. Get some of our local people that we've been working with, and talking to them as well. Like for myself, I've been attempting to organize the majority of the Orlando and Central Florida Bar Citizens, just to get everybody together. I saw that there was a want for the social meetups, and nobody was really stepping up to make that happen. So one day I just said, hey, well, why don't we just do it? Here's a place, here's a time. Whoever can come, let's go meet up and grab some beers, have some food, and just have some fun. And it's really been a very easy process. I was a little worried at first that it might be a lot of work, and wasn't quite sure what to do as far as organizing an event like that. That's not something I've ever done before. Um, but I found it, once the ball got rolling, once we had a venue picked out, once we had a date picked out, it all just kind of snowballed and it just kind of worked itself out. And the rest is history. I think we've had three consecutive monthly meetups here in Orlando. We just did our statewide in Orlando as well, so we haven't had a monthly meetup this month because of the statewide. Um, but we're keeping the process going, and we'll be having another monthly meetup next month. And um, with the monthly meetups, though, you have a smaller crowd, which is fine. It gives everybody a chance to come out. And like I was saying earlier during the podcast, it helps to kind of pick different locations. So the Central Florida area is kind of big, so I've been mixing it up between North Orlando, South Orlando, and then out west in between Orlando and Tampa, just to get some of the Tampa guys a chance to come out and hang out a little bit easier without such a big commute. Um, and then also days and times, and then different types of venues help others come out who may not otherwise be able to.
Yeah, it's a shame you couldn't make it to that one, Mocker. But I know a lot of people wanted to come but couldn't because of different reasons, and the fact that it was on Easter weekend was a little tough for a lot of folks with families. I know Gray-headed Gamer wanted to get out there, and we're all looking forward to seeing him again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, probably sometime around September. I think every 6 months or so is pretty reasonable to try to have it, and folks that can make it can make one or the other. Thereabouts. Not too bad to get up to Orlando for most folks around the state. And yeah, it should be pretty easy to get a lot of the other organizers on too. There's so many of them now, and
Oh, I
just
know.
there's so much going on around the community all the time. I mean, it's really most fun for me is just seeing all the pictures every week from all the events, and like look at all those nerds getting together having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Only if Jorunn takes his shirt off. Well, too bad you couldn't make it. You actually missed it. It got pretty crazy.
It was a crazy time, and then Space
Mhm.
Herpy over there buying shots for everybody.
Yep,
Like
the shots were
I,
flowing like water.
yeah, I managed to maintain self control there. Like I don't do shots, just too painful.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I think I need a beer. I will be right back.
Okay. So while Jorunn is off getting a drink, I guess that leaves me here. Um, yeah. So kind of the deal with this podcast is, I guess I'm just kind of running the technical side of it, getting the stream going and kind of being the host to Jorunn and any other guests that Jorunn wants to bring on that we can highlight. Um, so I really don't have much to contribute in way of content at the moment. Hopefully that'll change.
Well, as we continue and have more people on and get a little momentum. I mean, there's a lot of
Hmm.
always a lot of stuff going on around the community, and there's certainly a lot to
Chase Jorn away.
I, I needed beer. We're talking bar citizen. Gotta have a beer.
Yeah, I
Oh,
meant to go grab one before we started, but
mm,
I got
uh,
caught up in trying to finish setting up. So
yeah, we're actually thinking about having a little bit later. Maybe next time we'll do a little bit later in the evening.
yeah.
And yeah, but this is good. Get to I tested all the systems and the graphics and everything.
Hmm.
Think it looks really good. You're able to switch back and forth between the screens and bring that up. I like it. Well done.
No shots, just beer.
No no shots, just beer.
Beer
Beer citizen.
citizen. I like it.
Good to have it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I mean, Saturdays really do tend to work out to be the best days for bar citizens because people can make it. Um, I've seen some bar citizens on like weekday evenings, and they tend to be a little bit harder for people to get to because
Right.
they're working, and by the time they get there, it's already kind of late, and you don't have that long to talk. And no, from our experiences, you just talk and talk and talk and drink beer and have a good time, and I think just go on for hours and hours and hours.
Hmm.
And that's
Well, like
we,
with with the statewide that we just had, I mean, Manny, uh, Manny was there, Space Herpy was there, and a few others were there, along with myself and my wife, and we ended up closing down the Player One arcade bar and went over to Ale House for some after hours libations, and we closed down Ale House too. So I mean,
What
we were.
what what time did the player one close? Is that what,
Uh,
midnight or one?
I think it was midnight or one. I think it was midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went over to Ale House, and Ale House closed it too.
That place was really cool. I had
Hmm.
no idea what to expect. That Player One bar, and I think they're starting to open up around the country. I've heard a lot of people are having events at them.
Yeah, there's a lot of arcade bars opening
Yeah.
up around the country. There's another one that's out by UCF. I believe it's called Cloak and Blasters.
Oh wow,
Um,
that's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. I want to go check that one out next.
Yeah, they're having the one in Toronto at a gaming bar too. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
good to book
booking
a
a room.
room.
Yeah.
I planned that myself. I was literally across the street, so I could go to the restaurant, go across the street to the Player One bar,
Hmm.
and then just walk across the street. And I was back in the hotel and didn't have to drive anywhere, and could sleep in a little bit the next morning.
Yeah, yeah. And let's see. Raytheon mentioned Disney Springs as well. Yeah, Disney Springs has built up quite a bit lately. There's a lot of new stuff out there too.
What's Disney Springs?
It's what used to be downtown Disney.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so it's like a shopping district with
Yep,
a lot of food.
yep.
Um, and now
Then
it's even bigger. There's like 3 times as much food and
holy
shopping as there
crap!
used to be. They built 2 new
Yeah.
parking garages.
Oh,
It's pretty crazy. What happens at Bar Citizen stays at Bar Citizen. I don't
except
know,
for all
not
the pictures.
and the
There's
podcast.
and the podcast. Yeah, there's always a lot of pictures. I was talking with one guy in the 890 Jump Discord and said, "Yeah, I saw pictures from the DFW Bar Citizen last night."
Mhm.
Said there were pictures. It's like, yeah, I could.
Uh-oh.
Do you want me to private message that to you, or there's just a bunch of people around a pool table? It's not that bad. Yeah, they tend to be pretty reasonably sedate and nerdy affairs.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we've had anything too crazy happen at any of the ones that we've had in Orlando yet. Yet.
Yet they're
Well,
just
there
getting
there
started.
was that one time, but I will not talk
Yeah,
about it. I will not name names. It was very interesting, to say the least.
a few too many shots.
Yes, a few too many shots.
That's that's why I just stick with Beer Citizen.
Yeah. Yeah, I can switch between, fairly regularly, but beer is generally my go-to for the events.
I'm just too sensitive. It's just a bit painful on my system.
Hmm.
So I stopped drinking liquor a long time ago. I might have maybe a margarita every once in a while, but just one because it hurts.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, elite. I mean, we are elite nerds. I'm proud of being a nerd.
Well, yeah. I'm rocking my NASA shirt today.
I'm
So,
wearing my Big Benny shirt here.
oh yeah, very nice. Oh, and so the new merch on the
New new merch.
RSI website.
Big news. Big controversy about that. I got two hats. I got both hats. Well, we were just talking last week. I was trying to pick out a hat to order custom
Hmm.
because I've been so desperate to have a Star Citizen hat, and lo and behold, a week later they've got the hats on sale, and then it's like, oh my god, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to get a hat. I'm going to get the other hat. I'm going to get a mouse pad. I'm going to get a shirt, and I start adding them all up, and then start adding up the shipping charges, and then
Hmm.
I think everybody really kind of had a bit of a shock because it's the first time they had shipping separately from. Um,
Hmm.
Go spend some money, throw some money at RSI, get a
Yes.
hat, get the Polaris shirt. I have a Polaris shirt, and that thing is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Just that the material is fantastic.
Are there even any left? Oh,
Yeah,
there's
I was
limited quantities.
limited quantities. Yeah, so I thought about it for a little bit. I was a little, I started to get a little bit salty when I first saw it, like everybody else did, and then I
Hmm.
started adding it up because before they had the price of the merchandise and the shipping rolled into one, and essentially it's the same price, and
Right.
nothing really changed. I mean, it's $20 or so for a hat or a shirt, and their actual merchandise prices are really cheap. I went out and I looked on BioWare's store, and a Mass Effect hat is $20 plus 750 shipping and handling.
Oh
So
wow.
that's more expensive than what we're paying for these. So I think it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
And
the
Mac,
only thing that I was
Mac was
upset,
asking.
little upset about was you can only purchase the one item at a time, so you're having to pay, multiple shipping costs. So you can't bundle your items and have them all shipped together.
Yeah, even if you buy two of the exact same item, that was what I upset some people. I guess I can kind of see that if you think you're buying two of the exact same thing, it should be able to save a little bit on shipping.
Hmm.
But it's just I think the business decision that they made was to go to the lowest cost, good quality provider
Yep.
in China that could actually just manufacture and ship direct to citizens all over the world. And that's a big part of it too, because we're spoiled here in the U.S. And like Michael said with Amazon, we order stuff and it shows up the next day or 2 days later, and the shipping is free and the stuff is cheap, and it doesn't get much better than that. But these are um, products that are custom manufactured. They don't know how many people are really going to buy, so I
Hmm.
mean they're investing a certain quantities. And we have citizens all over the world. Europe is as big a community as the United States, and
Hmm.
Australia has a huge community. There's folks in the Middle East. There's folks in Asia. This is a worldwide community, and um, Star Citizen CIG is they're a gaming company. I mean they
Yep.
are 400 and how many 428 people strong now, and they're primarily focused on the game. They're not necessarily the most sophisticated at making and selling and distributing merchandise.
And I wouldn't
So
expect them to be either. I mean, they have other things that they are focused on that they're more
yeah,
suited to, which
yeah.
I quite frankly is what I want them to be focused on as a
I I
backer.
I am thrilled with the spaceships that they give us. I mean,
Hmm.
they build the most beautiful spaceships, the most beautiful space stations.
Hmm.
I am pretty darn happy with everything that they're doing, and the prices are still pretty reasonable for the merchandise. I wish I didn't have to go through a separate transaction for every item that I was
Yep.
buying. Um, that was the only thing that was still a little bit annoying.
Yep.
Uh,
So
and
Mocker was just saying
uh,
in chat, they've partnered with Amazon for Lumberyard and a lot of the networking stuff that they're going to be doing. Um, so it would kind of make sense if they were able to partner with Amazon as far as payment is concerned as well, and maybe try to get some of this stuff shipped through Amazon as well. So that's a really interesting idea, and maybe they'll see this, and maybe they'll take note of that. I mean, I'm not sure
yeah,
what the logistics are involved with that kind of partnership, but I mean, it might be worth looking into.
yeah. I think in time they'll get better at merchandise logistics, and
Hmm.
especially as the community grows, because I mean we're still really only there's 1.7 something million accounts
Hmm.
right now. It's probably like 1.2 or 1.3 million citizens
Hmm.
backers. Um, when we get to 5 or 10 million, I mean that's going to be a heck of a lot of merchandise they're going to be shipping out because
Right.
people want stuff.
Hmm.
I want stuff.
And and with their plan for this being a decade-long game, as far as playability is concerned, there's going to be a lot of people that are coming in, you know, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years,
Hmm.
6 years down the road, and you know, everybody else that's been here for a long time, they're going to want new content, new merch, especially if they're still passionate about it.
Yeah, and lots more. I mean, the merchandise that they're turning out is really good quality merchandise.
Hmm.
I mean, the shirts are really nice, and I'm wearing the Big Benny shirt, and it's super nice material, and that Polaris shirt. I I really want to have like 2 or 3 Polaris shirts.
Oh yeah. uh,
It's so nice.
Innovis in chat is saying, "Ship, give me more ships,
More ships.
all the ships."
Well, Ben just said on Ben's Day, yesterday, came out yesterday or the day before, that they have 10 concept ships planned for this year,
hmm
including the Defender and the Hurricane. So that means we have maybe 8 more concept ships in the
hmm
next 6 months.
Yeah, and I
So
think he also mentioned that there were three more in this release cycle alone that they were gonna start putting out, I believe.
yeah, and more non-combat ships, which
hmm
I'm really excited about. I want to see more career-oriented ships, and that's what I really enjoy about the Ben's Day with Batgirl shows is it, and he really, you get to 600. Yes, I want the 600 now.
Yep.
Definitely, but oh well, what are we getting? We're getting and 3.0 is supposed to come out June 30th, and I figure it's going to be a little bit long on the PTU. So if we get it in the middle of congratulations, Mocker, good to get a shirt there. Um, I think we'll see 3.0 in the middle of July, maybe about 2 weeks late
hmm
for extra bug bug testing and fixing and whatnot. And we're supposed to get how many ships? We're going to get uh, uh, the Constellation Aquila,
hmm
the Dragonfly,
hmm
the what else was coming out?
Getting the
There's like
Ursa rover.
the Ursa rover.
hmm
Um, there's another ship
The
too.
Prospector.
The Prospector. Yes,
hmm
I am super stoked to have a Prospector. I got it at the
Yep.
concept sale last year, and I want to go mine some stuff.
Yep. I got one in the concept sale as well, and I ended up hawking it and melting it so I can use some other buy some other things, and then I just got it back when they announced that mining was going to be in 3.0, so I went and bought that back. I'm really
Yeah,
excited about doing some mining.
that's and I love that bubble canopy.
hmm
I think that the cockpit just looks great, and I wonder if we're going to be able to mine asteroids with it because the concept images they showed mining asteroids
Yep.
and mining on planets. Be able to go around and scanning.
Yeah. We'll
Maka
see.
thinks late July for 3.0, estimate 50%. Um, yeah, that's why I'm saying probably mid July. I mean,
hmm
probably going to be 2 maybe 3 weeks behind because this is the biggest change to the game ever.
Right.
Since 2.0 and we actually got the persistent universe. This is essentially scrapping everything that we've got and releasing everything brand new with megamap, object container streaming,
hmm
bind culling, um, um,
Procedural planet tech.
yeah, the procedural planet tech,
hmm
item system 2.0
hmm
is going to be huge. So I think it's going to be a huge change for people, and also having persistence is going to be a really big
Absolutely.
thing. I think that's going to change the gameplay a lot. Yeah, I'm not even sure if they're going to have mining in Novus. I know that they're releasing the Prospector, but everybody's been asking where mining is on the 3.0 production schedule because there is no mention of mining
Mm.
that I've seen anybody talk about. So, Chris Roberts and Tony Zurvik at the town hall in January said that we're getting cargo and mining with 3.0, but there hasn't been any official written announcement.
Well, I think
Uh,
part of that is, that was some of the tech that they've already kind of finished, and it may not be on the production schedule because there's nothing left to do with it. It's ready to go. But again, that remains to be seen. We'll see what happens when 3.0 comes out,
yeah,
or once we're a little closer at least.
yeah, I'll be happy with cargo. I'll be happy with getting the new ships. I hope we get the Aquila as a loaner for the Carrack. Ben did
hmm
mention that they might do that for us. Um, Yeah, respawning a fresh ship in Novus, we're gonna miss that.
Hmm.
You get damage, and you're actually gonna have to pay to fix it.
Hmm.
So we're actually gonna have to take care of our stuff, which, for most of us, shouldn't be too bad as long as all the other people are more careful. I'm hoping that it cuts down on the griefing and the crashing into ships and attacking people randomly.
Yeah, and that's what I'm expecting as well. I expect a lot of the griefing and the ganking to come down just a little bit, with that knowledge that things are going to be persisted. You know, you lose your ship, your ship's gone. But again, we still don't know what extent the persistence is going to be implemented, so we really don't know yet, how that will truly affect gameplay. I highly doubt that they're going to make it so that your ship is just gone, if it's destroyed, or to what extent, you know?
Well, and they're going to be expanding the insurance.
Hmm.
I don't know how long it's going to be between insurance replacements, so that's going to be interesting. I think it's very fast right now. I think they're probably going to give us a
Hmm.
little bit more time in between, which, for those of us that have a whole crap ton of ships, it's not that big a deal. But for folks that they've just got a starter package, then they're going
Right.
to have to be a little bit more careful.
Yep.
And
Or seek protection, you know?
yeah, or hitch a ride on somebody else's multi-crew ship, a Starfarer, Caterpillar, Constellation, and there's going to be a lot of multi-crew options. Congratulations, Mocker. That Aquila looks like it's going to be a pretty nice exploration ship.
Hmm.
I'm debating getting a Connie. Having it for a loaner, I was. Nova says to buy more ships. More ships, always more ships. That's always the answer.
More ships. Yeah, I find myself in that boat every single time there's a concept sale. It's like, oh my god, it's another ship. Oh, this one looks so cool, but I have so many already.
Yeah,
Uh.
I get a CCU for the Hurricane,
Hmm.
and really, like, I don't need the Hurricane. It doesn't make any sense for me at all, and I'll probably melt the CCU because I don't need it.
Hmm.
I'll take that
Yeah,
$25 and put towards something else.
yeah. I
The
I recently picked up the new Banu Defender. I'm really loving the Banu designs. I'm
oh
really
yeah.
looking forward to the Merchantman.
Hmm.
I have a CCU for that, for my Terrapin to upgrade it. I'm waiting to see what how the Terrapin feels before I decide. But
I'm gonna
I'm
like that Terrapin.
yeah.
I think it's gonna be for me wanting to do just a long range solo exploration and just
Hmm.
scanning stuff, being kind of stealthy and staying away from people.
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna like the Terrapin quite a bit because I want to go out and hunt down uh, pirate fleets and report them so they get wiped out.
Yeah.
Against pirates. So I want to go find them and report them
Yep.
to the authorities or the bounty hunting fleets. And it's like, hey, go wipe these guys out. Then hopefully get paid for that a little bit. But hell, I'm not too uh, uh, getting paid for that is not my primary.
So Innovis in chat is saying he's disappointed in me. why, why are you disappointed in me?
because
What did I do or not do?
because you should keep the Terrapin and get the
Oh
the Benny Merchantman.
yeah, well,
All 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 the ships. All the
all the
ships.
ships. Yeah.
Yeah, that Raythan, do you have an LN or one of the other Auroras? I really like the LN. I mean, it's a good version. I hear more about the Defender and BMM compatibility. If it can dock in the Merchantman, that is a big question. That they said that they're thinking about whether or not they're going to have a hangar in the Merchantman for the Defender. Um, I think that would be a brilliant idea.
Hmm.
Uh, that would be just awesome. And it's going to be big enough. Um, it might make it bigger, and they have all that room that they have to have for the cargo, and then also have to have a hangar for a defender.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, the defender weapons, the tachyon cannons, the size 2 long range, high damage weapons. They
Hmm.
they 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 do sound pretty cool. I like the sound of the really super powerful Tavaran shields on it, and being
Yeah,
super maneuverable.
that'll be interesting to see how that plays out with the defender's weaker hull. Um, being that they're considering it at the same level of fighter as the Saber and the Super Hornet, like the same class level.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see, kind of how that plays out in dogfighting and whatnot.
Yeah, it'll probably be a low fire rate then because it's long range, high damage. So they'll probably reduce the rate of fire because it's meant to be a long range sniper. Stay away from kind of avoid being hit because it has very light armor, but very strong shields and very high maneuverability. So,
Hmm.
and I love the maneuverability of my saber. And if it's more maneuverable than the saber, I am going to be a happy camper.
Yeah, I think they'll have to balance it out that way. I mean, because you've got the Saber and you've got the Super Hornet, which are both heavily gunned, and the Super Hornet can take a beating. And then with the Defender having the weaker hull but the stronger shields and the stronger guns that have a lower fire rate, having that maneuverability, I think, is key for that balance.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting ship. And was this, is, one of the guys with a dock like the Merlin and the Connie would be that would be kind of an interesting option. And if it just kind of docked to the bottom of the merchantman instead of actually going into a
Mm,
hangar, but
hmm
I think a hangar would be a nice option. But we all want it all.
Well, and with the way that the Defender is designed right now, it's got that entry ramp kind of in the middle on the bottom. So maybe
Mhm.
it would kind of berth on top of the merchantman
Hmm.
rather than come up from underneath.
Yeah, yeah. If it was going to dock that way, I'd still like to be able to have it pull inside in a hangar of some sort.
Hmm.
Seems like most of the hangars that they're putting on the top, um, like on the Polaris, on the Javelin,
Yep.
the Carrack, from a functionality standpoint, it makes it easier for them to design them around having a lower on the top of the ships. So.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be as huge as it looked in that one concept image.
Well, and there's speculation now that that one concept image is actually a different class Banu ship. That's larger than the merchantman. So that'll
Oh,
be interesting to see how that if that is indeed true and
I,
how that shapes up.
I haven't actually heard about that one.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of talk on Twitter about it. There's been
So,
some talk in some of the other streams as well.
somebody did talk about a bigger ship of the for the banner. So
Hmm.
yeah, maybe it is a bigger version. So, yeah, I think that's probably going to be the case. I mean, it's going to have a low rate of fire, high damage, long range, which will be interesting because they may need to have a different kind of aiming because your visibility of hitting a target outside of visible range where you really just have a dot, and
Hmm.
there needs to be a better way to see a target further away because realistically in space engagements of only being able to actually see a target at 1,000 meters at the outside. Really, and you can't even make it out very well until it's within, say, what, 500 or 600 meters.
Hmm.
Um, and it's really just kind of a dot beyond that. So I hope they give us a different kind of functionality in zooming or aiming for that.
Well, and what we have now with with the current radar system, that I mean that will be changing in 3.0 as we've seen in the schedule. But you're able to target ships that are 10,000 meters out. You can't see those ships, but your radar can. And right
Uh-huh.
now, with the way the ship systems work, is you can see what kind of ship that is. You can see the state of that ship. So I think with the defender and those new weapons, that may be all you need, but you're not going to be able to do precise aiming on those shots. They might be more um, guidance system type shots.
Hmm. Yeah, that'll be another interesting mechanic. Every new system they come out with has a whole new mechanic of how it's got to operate, and the continues to get more complex, which I love about it. And it's and there's something for everybody.
You need a scout ship then, yeah. So Raython in chat is mentioning that you would need a scout ship. You know, have a smaller ship or quicker ship go out um, and basically paint that target for you, which I think that would be very
Well,
interesting as well.
I'm real curious as to how how the new scanning systems are going to work, because what we have right now is very rudimentary.
Hmm.
And seeing the new radars from the sneak peeks and the ATVs have been very different radar configurations.
Hmm.
And we know that there's going to have where was it? There was something just the other day, trying to remember which program it was. I mean, there's so much information coming out all the time, it's hard to keep track of it all. But they were talking about different kinds of scanners. No, actually, it was on Ben's day. Ben was talking about answering one question, the difference between a Hornet Tracker's scanners and a Polaris's scanners,
Hmm.
and how they were asking, well, is it better because it's bigger? And it's not necessarily better. It's like comparing a Formula One race car to a destroyer, a Formula One race car engine to a destroyer engine. It's way
Hmm.
bigger, but it's not necessarily better or faster. It operates differently. It has different things that it does, and the scanners are going to have very different ways that they operate. So if you're scanning for, say, ships, or minerals, or spatial anomalies,
Hmm.
I think it's going to be really complex.
And one of the things that they did mention as far as the uh, radius versus cone for the scanners is
Hmm.
all the passive radar will be a spherical type of radar for
Hmm.
short range,
Hmm.
but anything that's more long range will be focused straight ahead of the ships,
Yeah, you'll have a much
like in a
narrower
cone.
cone. Exactly. So
Hmm.
the farther away and the more narrow the focus that you're going to have,
Hmm.
and you'll have to direct that more specifically
Hmm.
on the area of space that you're targeting.
And then you'll also potentially need to be careful about where you're scanning, because you may give yourself away when you don't necessarily want to,
Yeah.
because other ships will be able to see your signature if you scan them.
Did you see the images of the new shield and power controls from, I think, the last ATV or one of the recent ATVs, and that they have actually a button for, let me see if where that was, for stealth suppression. So you can hit this button and it reduces
Oh
all of
wow.
your vision signatures. And where would that be? Well, I know I saved it. Let me see if I can upload that from to Imager. If I didn't already have it over there. Where's my
I'm seeing if
folder?
I can find it right now.
I think I only have about 20 or 30 screens open. Where is the new
Hmm.
the displays? Uh, this one? This one? Got so many images from all the recent stuff that's come out. Shields, thrust, power. I don't see that particular one.
There have been so many little sneak peeks at interfaces over the last couple weeks. It's been a little overwhelming. I haven't had a chance to really go back and look at everything yet.
Yeah, and they've really been giving us a ton of stuff. I mean, these new ATVs have been just so good,
Hmm.
going around to all the different studios. Yeah, I don't know where that was. I actually tweeted it out, and Nubifire said something about it. Um, he really focused on that. That there's so it shows the infrared, electromagnetic, and the other emission signatures
Hmm.
from each of your different components, and then there's like a button for stealth, and so you can hit that, and it drops the power to all of your different systems
Hmm.
to reduce your emissions and make you more stealthy.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting gameplay for sure. I've kind of toyed around with it a little bit with the current implementation, which as of I think it was 2.6, they
Mhm.
decoupled all of it, so none of it works anymore. They've turned it all off basically, along
Yeah.
with the weapon grouping and stuff. They're gearing up for item 2.0 to re-enable all that stuff. So, but before that, I played around with it a little bit, and
Mhm.
it was interesting what you could accomplish without having any true stealth technology. And I did find that the IR and the EM were a little buggy. They didn't quite shut down how they were supposed to,
Yeah. Yeah, none of
and all
that's
that
really
kind of
working
stuff.
very well right now. And they're just starting to roll out the item system 2.0, and all that's really going to come online after 3.0. So,
Hmm.
and it's, you know, like I tell everybody, and you really can't judge anything in the game by what we have right now, because everything is going to change so radically. Um, it's everything's going to be
Yeah,
different. The buggy physics grids where you get flung out into space or killed,
I'll
getting in and
miss
out of your
those. I
ships.
will miss those.
Those those will be the days, in a couple of years, when things go live and there's millions of
Uh-huh.
citizens. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, I remember when they back in the day, and we'd get in our ship and it would just kill us.
Yeah, yeah. So Raytheon in chat just mentioned maybe they can reinvent the docking collar system with some of the ship sizes increasing. Um,
No, I think they're definitely planning on doing that
mhm,
at some point. That's one of the reasons they refactored the size of the docking collars, because they had several different sizes,
mhm,
and with the rework of all of the older ships, they brought those all into a consistent size, so that we will be able to use those at some point. I mean,
mhm.
don't know how far down the line that's going to be, but that definitely is part of the plan. And they're working on so many things, and that 3.0 schedule by itself is just massive. The amount of stuff that they're working on is
Yep.
just really impressive.
So, and on that note, I think we're gonna wrap things up a little bit. We've already been on for about an hour or so, which I think is about as much time as we wanted to focus on today.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
first stream, testing out the systems and kind of getting everything down. We'll start planning on a good time to have the next one in 3 or 4 weeks maybe, and schedule some people to come on with us,
Yep.
and then we'll hype it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, before we go, I wanted to plug the website again. So it's barcitizen.sc. You can go there and find all your local bar citizen meetups. And, they're happening all over the world. The ones that are in red are ones that have already passed, and the ones that are in blue are upcoming. So it makes it really easy to find those upcoming ones so you don't miss out. Um, so, Jorunn, thank you for coming on today. I'm Lieutenant Porter. Is there anything else you would like to talk about with Bar Citizen before we wrap it up?
Nope, that covers everything. Just want to thank Innovis for coming and hanging out with us for our first stream, helping us troubleshoot and get things tested out. So we won't be total noobs when we do this for real the next time. And Macker and Raytheon, thanks guys,
Yep.
appreciate it. Porter, I thank you for putting all this together and all the hard work on putting those great graphics together and the whole stream
Well, I have to thank
our
you
new channel.
for putting this whole Bar Citizen thing in action.
So,
Making it what it is and being out there and hyping it up with everybody and helping out, everybody get their own Bar Citizens going. You've been a huge,
thanks.
huge help.
Thanks, man. I mean, it's been an amazingly wonderful thing, and it's still in the beginning. And not even 1 year in, and we're 6 months, right?
Yeah, I think that's
Six
it.
or 7 months.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's going to
So
be pretty darn cool. Or it looks like we got some mods volunteering for future. Appreciate that.
I will make a note.
And on that note, thanks Porter. Thanks guys, and we'll see you next time.
All right. See y'all later. Thanks for stopping by.